Starting video journal, Sunday, 11/7. Where to start? I hooked up a Bluetooth keyboard to my phone, and here is the first time. I think I'll type my name. So connected. So what's interesting about my last name is every single letter of it is on the top row except for the letter N, P-U-T-R-I, and then down to the bottom row, and then back up to the top. So without that one letter, all of those letters are on the top of the keyboard. I don't know. Anyway, so if I had a USB input to plug wires into my phone, the only thing that can be plugged into phones, and it's by design, is a charging cable. If I could plug in a USB keyboard, all kinds of other things, I would have no need for an actual computer or even a tablet. So I'm starting this video journal. One of the batteries just fell out. I rarely use this. I'm glad I have it though. I had attached it to my scooter, to my electric scooter, and I don't know. I mentioned, oh no, it won't close. All right, there it goes. I don't know. I had attached it to my scooter, and I had a rear view mirror. It's in one of my videos. It's for people who are, now I have to reboot the keyboard. It actually has a slot to put a tablet or a phone. Okay, perfect. This is great. Untitled Notepad. The thing about modern programs and apps is that they have no exit strategy. Right here, number 22, knowing how to end things, the exit strategy. And 33 Strategies book. And I don't have it now. This is the third book in a series, the Books of Robert. I don't know how to say it. Everyone sort of has to dedicate, they don't have to. The early influences in my life, and from going from my teenage years to my 20s and college, here was what I sort of latched on to for guidance, was Robert Greene, author. Is my phone just gonna like shut off? No, it won't. I'm just so used to having to refresh the camera from using the camera app Samsung. Anyway, so I've spent many years studying, and I'm sort of like in the mindset of the author of this book, whether I like it or not, just from so much reading into this trilogy. And the thing is about modern applications, if I have the memo app on my phone, there is no exit strategy. There's no button to just leave easily. And here we can see on old programs such as this one, this is like 1980s design. If I click the file button up there, I don't know how to write in program file, and then go to it pulls up a list of options, and at the very end is, so pressing tab doesn't work, is the exit button. And that's just something that does not exist in modern apps, social media. So there is no exit strategy from social media. There's none. Except what I'm trying to talk about in watching 1980s documentaries about computers and computer science, news reports. Hopefully I can find some lecture series from like MIT in the 80s. Watching advertisements from Apple computers and Microsoft. Reading through another dictionary that I have, I found out a mainframe used to be, that sort of compares to the 48 Laws book, the first book in the series. And then there's the Art of Seduction. And that compares to a soft, like a lot of soft people in that book, like JFK is the main theme of that book, whether it's obvious to other people or not, because it's a chapter about the soft sell. And then the third book in the series is going to be, I'm just wondering what word this is going to spell. It's sort of like a Ouija board, trying to see what that word's going to spell, M and A. And the third book in the series is Hardware. Yeah, Hardware. And so, watching old computer science videos, computer technology, going back to the 1960s, the first one to see is going to be Doug Engelbart. He's like the grandfather of, he's like the grandfather or the godfather of computers. You know, William Gates, aka also known as, I don't know what PKA means. I hear people say it though. PKA question mark? Oh, that reminds me. In the movie Office Space, the guy has to jump to conclusions. This movie has a lot of influence. I'm like trying to spell and talk. Jump to conclusions mat. Like something to stand on, or rug / rug. I should put that in quotes, shouldn't I? Just one quote. That's one quote instead of two quotes. So there's the jump to conclusions mat, and the selling point is it has different conclusions that you can jump ... to. And definitely compare and contrast Mike Judge media pieces. I'm just trying to riff. What was a word that I heard to exchange a synonym? I need a synonym for media. Oh, it's the press. I've been watching this old stuff from the 1980s, and they'd be like, the press, the press, the press. And then now the mainstream media, the mainstream media. I don't know. There's the blurred distinction. There's no distinction between the two now with social media. And so what hardware is, here I am. The number of times I've heard people say, there's hardware, such as the written text, and then there's software, like it has different conclusions that you can jump to. It's like the pet rock or whatever in the movie Office Space. So the idea is links, okay? Link is another word for linkage before computers, and it just means connection. As in the French Connection movie that I've heard a lot about from 1970, never seen it. What else? It has, like my Watch Later playlist on YouTube, it has different videos that you can link to. And so, link to. Okay, so definitely check out King of the Hill. King of the Hill. King of the Hill. 5-minute MLM multi-level marketing funniness. A lot of these mainstream shows, I'm so happy that I don't have to keep refreshing the camera. I think I have about 20 minutes before the screen blanks out, and then who knows what's going to happen after that. The show Family Guy, I mean, what's funny about comedies, everything's funny, right? I was thinking about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, it's a comedy, and Uncle Phil just happens to have the same initials as Uncle Philip. What's his full name? PU, as in how I started the video, Petrino. Anyways, comedy. Something of note is Bel Air is not just a city in California. Much like there's a Bel Air, what's that E about? Much like there's a Hollywood, Virginia, that has a monument and mass grave of something like 10,000 soldiers and a lot of former presidents from the 1800s, a lot of Civil War veterans there. There's a grave yard. Hollywood, Virginia, founded long before Hollywood, California. And then so there's Bel Air, California, very close to Hollywood. And there's also Bel Air, Maryland, where some well-known people in history are from, namely the father of, if anyone needs to be discouraged from taking drama classes, I know in college and high school people have to take one fine arts. Got to take one fine arts, right? One fine arts credit. There's stuff like drawing, painting, sculpting, and then there's acting, aka drama. You know, drama is involved in sports, drama is everywhere, in all sorts of media and theatrical stuff. Theatrical, there's even something called the theater of war, where stuff gets real quick. And so anyways, what sports is, what we have now in modern times in the 2020s is on the YouTube channels of NFL teams, they post 10 minutes or so of the footage of the players conversing with each other. And they don't really talk to the coaches talk to the other coaches, and the players talk to the other players. The quotes are funny. It seems that the camaraderie would be a lot more, it's not what it seems. If you actually see there, it's like you're sitting there on the sidelines. It's like you can pay a lot for 50-yard line seats, or you could pay a whole lot and invest a whole lot becoming a coach and hearing and being involved on the sidelines. These videos are a great way to watch the summary of the NFL games. But what about it though? Footage of players. What happened? I'm pressing wrong buttons over here. Footage of football players. So anyways, in this, what's happening over here? Father of, so I had 4 people to mention there. And one of them is my cousin, Henry David Thoreau. I'll just make a HDT note to self. Family Guy, the one big joke about it is the letter guy, quote unquote. Guy Fawkes. Wasn't that just a couple of days ago? The letter guy. Guy Fawkes, as in James Bond. What's happening over here? Bond, James Bond, aka 007, and Guy Fawkes is the letter guy from the 5th of November. That's the ultimate joke there. When I was searching for videos on YouTube of the letter guy, I was trying to remember what his name was. It pulled up nothing but these Family Guy jokes about it. So that's the ultimate joke there. So with Uncle Philip, you know, Just imagine how people be like, Uncle Phil, pfft, what a loser. Like, it's a comedy show, so he's supposed to be laughed at in real life. Very unfortunate what happened to Uncle Phil, real life actor. What happened with Twitter. I have generally tried to stay away from Twitter. There's no exit strategy. I'm willing to go in. So let me talk about hardware again. Let me bring that up again. The whole reason I mention it is because I'm looking at this book. It's almost as if there's not enough room to fit a third letter. W-A-R-E, as in where, like hardware and software. So I didn't mean to slap that. So this book is the hardware, and it's a third book. And the second book is Art of Seduction. That's the software. It's a soft book. It talks about the soft sell versus the hard sell. And soft sell versus hard sell. And it talks about JFK seducing the masses, as any politician would or should. Both JFK and RFK, his brother. Where did I just see? There was a Family Guy joke that it had someone, I've only heard about it, I haven't seen it. He has a Pez dispenser with JFK's head, and he loses his head. He says, oh, luckily I have my RFK Pez dispenser. And it's like dun dun dun, dun dun dun, or anyways. So let me go back to the funniest sketch of King of the Hill. A lot of people in Texas don't, as far as I know, don't watch King of the Hill because it sort of hits too close to home type thing. But check out the multi-level marketing thing, where what am I just going to recreate this from memory? It's like people show up. I had an experience like this when I went to try to, it said now hiring managers, $20 an hour. And they put us all in a room that was rented in an office space of all these empty office spaces in the local area. It's like $5 a month compared to in the 80s and 90s when business real estate was booming. Office space for rent. And they had a hard seller and a soft seller. The soft seller was like the secretary lady who's really nice. Oh, you're going to do great. We're hiring 20 managers for one tiny company. We're a company of managers. And then they bring in the hard seller guy, and it was just like this scene from this 5-minute scene where the punchline of the sales pitch is you. Like that's what self-development is. And self-help was originally a real estate term, and it transformed into a genre. You know, it started in the 1800s with, in my opinion, Ben Franklin's autobiography. That's the 1700s. And it goes way farther back into like the 1st century. But we're talking about like the 19th century. And Ralph Waldo Emerson, graduate of Harvard, and his mentee, the guy he trained, is my cousin Henry David Thoreau, also a Harvard attendant. There might as well be 2 statues of these guys next to each other. Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote Self-Reliance, and what Henry David Thoreau, my cousin, did was he went on to Walden Pond, like this land that was owned by Emerson's family, and he wrote a book, you know, to reply to Self-Reliance. He like chopped down a tree and built his own, even before Lincoln, maybe around the time that Lincoln did do this with Lincoln Logs. I don't know if he did, someone did. Build a cabin of Lincoln Logs and wrote a book called Walden, and it's a good read even in modern times. He's most well known, Henry David Thoreau, he's most infamous for Walden, of course, but lesser known, and in my opinion more infamous, would be his eulogy of John Brown. It was one of the last things he wrote. And so there's 4 people who, John Brown is part of the Harper's Ferry raid, and this is like American history type stuff. People learn about it in high school and college. It's more into detail in college. Harper's Ferry raid. And what happened was, he was like the last person, John Brown was the last person executed by the United States government. Oh, something about government. I'm thinking right now, there's something called there's a book called Government of Wolves, and that's John Whitehead. And I wanted to reach out to John Whitehead. He runs the Institute, Rutherford Institute. And what's so interesting is Rutherford B. Hayes, I don't know if that's what it's named, R.B. Hayes, president, was almost the identical age to my cousin Henry David Thoreau, and they're both, their alma maters was Harvard College. So the U.S. president who most closely resembles my cousin in American culture is Rutherford B. Hayes. And yeah, I'm wearing a Ford cap. Fool. Ruther Fool B. Hayes. You fools. So, Government of Wolves, what it is there's a quote in the 48 Laws of number 8, I think. Number 8 in the 48 Laws is, this is a direct quote, get others to do the work for you. Yet, however, that's my own spin, always, no comma, and always take the credit. It's written in a simple way. Okay, that's a culture vulture, Government of Vultures, GOV. That's what it stands for, Government of Vultures. That's what the ultimate cryptography thing is referencing in his book, Government of Wolves. You know, Government of Vultures. And the main quote, the book is written simply for simple people to understand. If I had not been such a simpleton as to get pulled in to this universe of books, in my late teenage years, early college years, early 20 years, I would not be anywhere near half as smart as I am today. Who knows? I might be like actually have a lot more money and a lot more success, because we're after something that's priceless. We're after power, and real power, not purchasing power. It's different. It's very difficult to explain. My cousin is quoted, Henry David Thoreau is quoted in the 48 Laws, in the Envy chapter, chapter 47, I think, second to last, from chapter 47, about envy. I can't think of the quote right now. But Government of Vultures, culture vultures, what he says is, and I have my Amerigo Vespucci cap over here. Amerigo Vespucci, Tom Paine, Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, they were renegades. And Tom Paine wrote Common Sense. Anyways, what I'm talking about. So just check out these. I'm going to highlight that right there, GOV. Amerigo Vespucci, the man who gave his name to America, Italian explorer. It's my Vespucci cap. I haven't even got into, I don't know. I was supposed to jot down some of my video ideas, and here I am, 30 minutes later, just talking about nothing. Restart.